the sticky side.
How far do you guys live from each other? How far is Jupiter from Middleburg?
It's about 4.5 hours.
Oh, okay. So it's not like right down the street. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. That's about
That'd be
like.
nice.
It's straight down 95, so it's pretty easy. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a sleeping drive. It's straight.
Well, you're almost straight down 95 to me, but
Right.
but that's
Right.
about
We're all right here on
10
95.
hours. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's get this started, man. This right here, another episode of Sticky Side. Myself, Mike Bird, and we got Mr. Rob Chismark, Middleburg, Florida. What's going on, Rob? How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great. You know how it is, man. This is Florida. Once again, it's a nice chilly day. I'm in a hoodie today. Look at that. Got a pocket. I'm in a hoodie.
Yeah.
Sitting out here.
Man.
Soon enough, though, my whole studio will be enclosed. But yeah, that's not today.
Well,
but Christmas break is coming, so we're gonna get some stuff done.
Yeah. Oh man, this is my last week at work for the next. My last week at work until January 2nd, and I got 2 weeks off, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, I bet. Man, we should be doing like a show every day.
What you want to do, man? Come on, let's do it. We just got to make sure we get the guests scheduled right.
Yeah.
Tonight, man, we got Rosie Streker in the house. What's going on, Rosie? How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys.
No, it's our pleasure to have you on the show. I've known you for a couple of years, back in the old ACO days, and you always been one of the best female players out there. So it was when Rob said he could get you on the show, I was like, let's do it. Let's get Rosie up here.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Thanks.
Yeah, and you're killing it in the ACL right now. I mean, you've had lots of TV time. You and Miss Samantha Finley, y'all just came off of a broadcast, like a month ago? Or was it a month and a half, 2 months ago, something like that?
Yeah, October we won for women's doubles for the U.S. national team. So that was a fun broadcast and fun group to be part of.
That's better than me and Rob. Well, Rob's got a better chance of being on TV. Rob actually got picked on an ACL Pro team, and so did you, Rosie. I mean, you both did. Look at y'all. Yeah. How exciting was that? Were you like watching the ACL live stream both days?
I got to watch the first day, and I didn't get to watch the morning of the second day, but I got to catch the end of it. But it was awesome. It was really well done. It was fun to watch. It was exciting, too, to see who was going to get picked and who was picking who. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people were surprised about some picks. What do you think, Rob?
Hey, man. I didn't go last. Let me start this whole thing off
hold on,
the way I really want to.
Yeah, before you start, though, I want to go ahead and say I texted you the other day about when did you go in the draft.
Yeah.
And I totally had no idea because I quit watching after the first round. And I couldn't find it. It was already, the draft was done, and I'm like, okay, well, how do I find out where Rob went? So then I texted him, and when I texted you, what position did you go? And you responded back with MFer. I was like, Rob thinks I'm trolling him right now because he probably went last. And
no, that's what team I went to. So the kid who is the captain of my team is Mike Ferreira, and they call him MFer.
Oh.
So I thought you asked me what team. I thought you asked me who picked me.
Oh, no, I thought you were just saying you MNFer. But go ahead.
No. So, no, it's truly an honor to have Rosie on here. Like, Rosie and I, we know each other, like, on a personal level, but I've always told people, and Rosie herself, that she is my favorite cornhole player of all time. So I'm a little bit in awe to be able to sit here and talk with her about cornhole, about the game, because when we're together we don't really talk about the game too much. We kind of just talk about life and family and all that kind of stuff and what normal friends talk about. But to be here on this podcast, her here is really an honor for me because of how high she ranks in my favorite player portfolio. She's definitely, she's my favorite player of all time. That's not a joke, not a rib. Nah, not a work. That's the truth.
Rosie, how do you respond to those
I know
accolades?
I've always told you that, Rosie.
Oh, I love that Rob says that. It's always fun, and he does a good job, and he gives me very good cornhole advice too when we talk. So I really enjoy that.
Can you recall some of that advice right off the top of your head? Like, what is Rob giving you?
So I don't even know if Rob remembers this. It was years ago, and we were talking about it, throwing or something. And he said, Cheyenne throws with confidence. He's like, I feel like you just need like more confidence when you're throwing. So when I'm throwing, I say something, sometimes, not every throw, but like kind of like take your time, follow through. Take your time, follow through, throw with confidence. That's like I really
nice.
So it's like a raw little mantra in my head.
That's awesome.
Do you chant it to yourself, or do you just say it like Rob?
What is wrong with you, Bird? Jeez Louise. Where's
Man.
our producer? She usually keeps you in check, bro.
Yeah, she is not here tonight. And look, this is no lie, because she messaged me and was like, hey, sorry, but I got something to do tonight, and I'm not going to be able to be on the podcast. So I'm sitting here thinking, I looked at my Google Calendar, and so I got 2 different calendars. And
at least.
And on the Google Calendar, it doesn't have a podcast tonight. And I'm like, wow, that's weird, a Tuesday night without a podcast. So then, I'm sitting here editing some other podcasts from another show, and then you text me, and you're like, Rosie's ready. And I'm like, wait, what? So then I looked at my other calendar, and there it is, Sticky Side Rosie Streker tonight. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm panicking. I'm like, oh, getting stuff together. But hey, we make it happen. This is what we do, and we are here.
Sometimes. So Rosie, you are a 2-time women doubles world champ. Is that correct? Or are there more than that for you?
No, 2-time women's doubles. And then though, with your wife, we are women's doubles blind draw world champions.
That's correct.
Damn, world
That's pretty
champions.
Awesome. Yeah, world. That's what we call it when we have people from other countries come and play at the same time. It's called a world championship.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because like you got like world championships and just American sports, and they call them the world championships. Like
I know. It's like Super Bowl world champion.
Yeah, world champion,
crazy.
Super Bowl. The NBA.
I'm pretty sure they could have beaten the Bahrain Dragons, though. Most of the NFL teams.
So when did that go down? When did you win the World Blind Draw?
2018, maybe.
2018.
With April, I think it was 2016. I think with April.
Okay.
Yeah, and then with Sam was 2019. Oh no, 2018, 2020, right? Or no, I guess 21 and 19. That's when they were. Yeah, you skipped 20 because you were out with the shoulder injury, the babies,
and the girls.
That was our year off, right? That was our what do they call that? Our bye year. Because of all the.
That was a sad year. That was a hard world championship to watch.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with having a bye year, Rosie. I got 2 of them, so it's okay.
You got 2 bye years?
2 bye years, man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you get older during those bye years, or is it like? Is it just practice years?
No, you get older.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, you haven't taken any bye years.
Just stay the same age.
No, not at all.
Rosie, what is your like? Do you have a most memorable match?
I mean, the world championships have got to be just the excitement and intensity that's built up around it, even if they're not like the toughest matches that you've ever played. Like just the build up and like the excitement and just your adrenaline going into it, like that definitely.
And do you have?
Was a big one too, because Sam and I had won in 2019, and then 2020, Cheyenne and Sarah had won. So like we were matching up to see who was the real champion. So that
the
was,
real
like,
champion.
exciting and like fun. Well, like we teased and like joked about it, but So, but I mean that
And
I think that it was most recent too. It wasn't definitely like the greatest match, but or the toughest or the most strategic. And I mean, anytime you play Cheyenne, you just try to get more bags in the hole than her and hope for the best.
that's awesome, because I really think that a lot of last year you were kind of questioning your bag choice, with the game changer just didn't seem to be working for you the same way that it had in the past. And this year, I know through the shootout series and even rolling into the world championship, you didn't have a whole lot of confidence in the equipment that was coming out of your hand and the way the bag was flying for you. So that really does have to be something that made it memorable, just because there was, there were those questions for you. So it was awesome to see, though. But how did you overcome that?
For me, I think those pro shootout boards, the black boards, were just in my head. And I would throw great the whole pro shootout, and then I'd get to that, and they just felt so much slicker to me. So I would try to throw strong enough so that it would go straight into the hole, but also like not too hard because I'd go right off the back. But then I wanted to not lay up enough because I didn't want it kicking right or left. So that was definitely very in my head. So when I feel like just once I went and there was a different color board, for whatever reason, that blackboard was very tough to me. I felt much more confident when it wasn't the first shootout board.
Nice. That's nice. That's funny though, because it was like when we got on that main stage, because I remember in Asheville when I got on the main stage, I was just like, wow, this thing is faster than every other thing in the entire building. So that was definitely, I could see that. Fast to me doesn't matter because I can throw them off the back, whether it's super slow or super fast. I'm really good at missing the hole. I think when I play, the hole is only 4 inches though. I'm not sure. I think they shrink it for me.
That's the hardest. One of the hardest things about cornhole, especially like for me, is adjusting. Like, okay, like I'm moving over here. This board's a little stickier. I need to adjust. Like, okay, it's faster. I need to adjust. I feel like sometimes it takes me a little bit into the game to mentally realize that and then start to adjust. Sometimes you're already down a good amount when that happens too.
And those round limited games are a little different than everything else too, because that's not your style really. Your style is, you like to play to 21 because you can get down in those games. I've seen you come back plenty of times, being down even double digits and come all the way back and win. So I can imagine that the round limited stuff really bothers you. Well, not bothers you, but it's just a whole different adjustment.
It's a whole different strategy that you're going in because I love a comeback. I always think, okay, I just have to put more bags in the hole from this point forward. And even if like, okay, I need 10 points, I'm like, okay, 5 rounds, get 2 points and you win. Whereas Sam is a very different player. She likes to come right out the gate and just dominate. So I think with the pro shootout, I'm going to take more of that stance and hopefully learn some of that from our pro shootout.
Those round games, there's so much more pressure on those. I mean, you can't screw up. You have one bad frame, and that could possibly be it because you can put yourself down. It's like a match play in golf. You only got so many frames where if you get so far behind, you can't come back. And yeah, I could definitely see how. I've never played one of those actually, and really not in a hurry to do it. But it would be fun, I bet.
They are fun, and throwing them off the back, that giving up the 3 points is really what killed me over and over.
And the thing about pool players, single elimination play when you're out in the field, those are all 12 rounds, and then when you get on TV, they limit that to 10 rounds. So all of a sudden you lost 2 rounds. So it really gets in your head when you give up that 2 or that 3 early, because now you only have 9 rounds left where you used to have 11. Yeah. It's different. It's a different thing, and it's a different strategy. It's different everything. So I can understand it. And
at that level, these players aren't going to give up 4-point rounds, 6-point rounds. You'd be lucky to get a 2-point round. So, yeah, you could dig yourself in a hole quick playing that round format.
For sure. Yeah.
another thing I wanted to ask is, so I know I've been following you, been around you since probably the ACO World Championship in maybe 2015 or 16. I'm not sure which of those where you went there, and you you had a pretty good season rivalry with Christine Papke. I was going to ask who who was your rival, if you had a rival player, but to me, it in the beginning when you and I first got to know each other, I would say that it was Christine. But is it still Christine, or who has it evolved into now? Is there a rival for Rosie Streaker?
Definitely in those ACO days. Sam and I were both chasing Christine and Stacia. I mean, we wanted to beat them. And even like with numbers, like the first year, I think I was fourth, then I was third, and then I was second. So like each year I'd get a little bit closer. But now I wouldn't say there's actually a rival. I feel like the talent has changed so much that at every tournament, like someone has like an amazing tournament and does super well. I've played Bella, and I know she's an amazing thrower, but in women's, we have not had really great matches. And then at this past Open in Virginia Beach, she threw phenomenally and killed me. So I feel like at any time, like there's always a different, like each, if it's just like that lady's weekend to like kind of dominate for the weekend. I mean, Cheyenne has been dominating everything, but I wouldn't call her my rival. But she's someone who I'm always excited when we play, and definitely more excited when I win.
She's what you would call at the top of the women's division right now, right? Is that a fair statement?
Oh, I would say she's a top player right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
not even women's. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard Trey Ryder say something about that too. That she's not only just like the most dominant female player, but probably one of the best players in cornhole right now.
No doubt about it.
Would you say that I feel that there's more talent in the women's division now, more named female players than there was 5 years ago? 5 years ago in the ACO, you only had like Rob was saying, you got Stacia and Christina, and you had a handful more like yourself and Samantha, and but now there's so many elite players out there, and
Absolutely. And just so consistent. They all throw so consistent and so well. So it's going to be a really exciting women's year.
Oh, Rob, I want to know how Rosie stays at this level, like this elite level. I mean, you're a mother, okay? You got a family, but you've been consistent. You've consistently been at the top. How do you juggle that, especially traveling? Davis is an amazing husband. I'm assuming, he helps you out. But like, how do you have time to practice? How do you have time to get the kids in bed, and how do you watch them when you go on these trips and maintain that elite level?
So I don't practice very often.
Shh, you can't say that.
I went through a little bit, like a month, where I was like doing a really good job practicing 3 times a week. I've already made my New Year's resolution, and it is to practice at least 3 times a week.
Nice.
Trying to go to blind draws our weekly Wednesday. I'm going to really work hard on that. But mainly just over the weekend, going to like the main tournaments. I feel like the competition is where you get a lot of your good practice. But I do want to make sure that I'm practicing more often. I've never, even when I didn't have kids, I wasn't someone that would practice. Emery Parker lived with us for a little while. And he is a practicer for like 4 hours a day. And he'd be like, come on, practice with me. And I'd be like, no, I'm watching Criminal Minds, or no, I'm grading papers. So I can't really fully blame the kids, but they definitely put a lot more into the difficulty of practicing now. But I'm planning on practicing just because all the women are so good. So I know I need to step up my game and practice more. Before the last tournament, I did Battle of the Queens. I did work on airmails for a couple of days because I knew I was going to have to do airmails. But I think if I on a more regular basis practiced. It would be very good for me, very beneficial.
Yeah, some people. We just had Dayton Weber on the show, and Dayton's like, man, I hate the practice. It's so boring, just sitting there throwing by yourself, you know. And he goes, the only way he gets any practice in, he said he plays in blind draws, and that's really the only time I practiced back when I was playing hardcore was blind draws. It's boring getting outside throwing by yourself. Everybody's got their own method, you know. Jamie Graham throws for hours at a time, you know, and that's Matt Guy throws a lot. You know, Jay Rubin, he's constantly throwing bags. So, you know, to each their own.
When it was like September. I was pretty well. This is my first year. I stopped teaching completely, so I have more time. But it's more time with the kids. So I was thinking, okay, then cornhole, I need to focus more and practice more. But when I was practicing, it's me practicing and the kids are there practicing and kind of just going crazy, going down slides in the middle and just throwing balls to me while I throw. So it's very different kind of practice, but it's fun.
What grade did you teach in school?
I was an elementary school teacher. I taught like the struggling readers. So a lot of first, second, and third graders, and pulled them out in small groups to kind of work on their reading skills.
Oh, yeah. So they were too young to say, hey, Miss Streker, we saw you on ESPN. You know. So
the last year that I was teaching, I was part-time and kind of took over a fourth grade class because with COVID, there was a lot of teachers in and out, and this poor class just kept having trouble. So I went in part-time and was teaching fourth grade, and they were having a sub for me on a Friday so I could make it to one of the pro shootouts. And I said, you guys are really good. I like show you a video when I come back. And they're like, is it going to be TV? What's it going to be? I'm like, it'll be TV. And they didn't really know I played cornhole. So then after, they're like, why didn't you tell us that you were like a professional cornhole player and you were so good? So I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. But then one of the other students said, do all your professional cornhole friends know what a good reading teacher you are? And I was like, so that was funny.
She's been teaching me to read for 3 years as well. So she's really good at teaching reading.
Well, you give her good cornhole advice and she teaches you a life skill, Rob. Thank God. Yep. I mean, damn. How
the pictures still help, though. The pictures still help.
Pictures always help.
I do want to say how good your microphone sounds tonight, Rob. Congratulations on that new microphone.
That's good.
Yeah.
Dude, I was having so much trouble with all the different earbuds. It was making me so mad that I was like, I got to do something. So I went to the store, did a little bit of research, and grabbed this nice wireless headset. So it's still wireless. I can still walk around the world and do my thing. But I could tell you that it sounds good in my ears as well, listening to you talk. So it's pretty cool.
And you look more professional. Just the headset in itself. Yes. We are complete now.
How can I look more professional? I'm already a professional. Rosie, another question I wanted to ask was, I know that in 2015 and 16, you felt like you were weak on your airmails, and then something changed. What was it that changed you from being kind of questioning the airmail to being able to know that you were going to shoot it and it was going to go in probably 85% of the time? What changed?
Davis used to do airmail only games against him.
Yeah.
He's so honestly, he's such a good airmailer. So trying to be better than him is really what's needed.
That's awesome. I know that was one of the parts of your game that you didn't like. Mm-mm. You knew that if you had to get into an airmail battle, there was an opportunity for somebody else to win that. And I know you didn't like it at all. I remember at the ACO Worlds, we were talking about it. That's one of the conversations we had, that you didn't like your airmail at the time. And that was the year that it changed. It was like it changed right after that. So it was cool to see.
Knowing that I was going to get set up for airmails, and I'd be like, oh, it's going to happen. I'm going to miss it. Just, I had no confidence in it.
Right. It's great. Oh, it's great that he can help you. It's just been, like you and I have talked about him. He's like one of the most underrated pros in the entire game, because all of a sudden he could beat the best player at any given time. It's just, where is his concentration? Because that's seemed to be what is always missing for Davis, is the opportunity to concentrate on the task in front of him right now. And I understand why he's kind of stepped back from it to allow you to be the superstar that you are, but it's going to be sad not having him because of what he really brings to the game, because he's awesome. I love it when he beats somebody big and they don't expect it. And it's just, and he knocks them off, and it's so beautiful to watch.
He is. He is such a wonderful dad and partner, because he is. I mean, he stepped back. He wants to concentrate on his design, and he wants to kind of be here with the kids. And that's kind of the amazing part, because I was like, hey, this national, do you want to come? And he's like, no, I actually would really like to hang out with our kids and like have the time, and you're not here, and I get to like be just us and like our own groove we get in. Which is amazing. Because there's not a lot of guys going to say that.
You've got little kids, right? They're young.
Yeah, we have a 3.5-year-old boy, Mason, and then we have twin girls they'll be 2 in February. So
oh my gosh, twins.
Yeah, still lots of diapers, lots of craziness here.
Oh, those days are over for me, bro. They're done. No more kids. No mas. And if Laura was here, she would be agreeing. It was back in the day, but man, I wouldn't trade it for anything now. Sometimes my 17-year-old daughter makes me wish she was an infant again. But
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, but 20. My son's 21, my daughter's 17. And both of them grew up around, my son's early teen years, and my daughter's, when she was like 8, 9, 10, 11. She grew up all in the cornhole world and traveled with me and stuff. She actually went to Florida with me that one year for an ACL major down there.
I remember your daughter. I remember seeing pictures on Facebook recently and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe how grown up she is, which is crazy because you just think they're still little.
Yeah, and when you have a conversation with her, it's like talking to a little politician. You cannot trip her up. She is never wrong, and if you think you've got her to be wrong in a conversation, she'll find a way to make you second guess yourself. Like, oh, maybe she's right. No.
Wow.
Yeah. Hopefully, she won't listen to this and know that. But anyway.
Rosie, are you happy with the way that the ACL and basically cornhole as a whole has handled the whole women's game, where I kind of feel like, in my opinion, the ACL doesn't really, they do separate the women. They allow you to play women's doubles in the pro division. They don't really do a women's singles, but they don't really separate it. So they kind of bring you in as the equal into the women's game, but like, it's not necessarily equal in numbers per se. But are you happy with the way that the women's game has been brought along in the ACL?
I personally love it. The reason I love it, it's very, very advantageous for us as women. Like for the pro shootouts where we're now 34 of us, which is much less than the men's side. The television time that I was able to see just from the different pro shootouts, and the chances, the opportunities, if you're going to be one of the 8 females, you've got a pretty good shot there going forth. I do like that they're kind of bringing a spotlight to it. And I know their goal is to keep increasing the number of women. Hopefully the talent keeps continuing to grow with women so that more and more women are like up to the pro caliber, which will be amazing. But I do like that it grew to more women this year. And I do love that we're getting like equal TV time. I'm sure if I was a man, I would be like, hey, this doesn't seem fair. But as a girl, I like the little advantage we have here.
Do you think that the women's talent in the division is keeping up with the growth?
I do. I think the players that they brought on to play are, phenomenal players. And even, I know that there's women that are not pros out there that haven't tried or haven't made it yet. Because now as it's getting bigger, they're starting to hear about it, that are already great players that I think will start kind of coming in and joining in, and it'll get even tougher.
seems to me like the ACL is trying to be one of the first organizations to like mix the player pools, mix the genders, mix the kids with the adults, and have them all fighting for one championship instead of doing different divisions like all other sports. Because cornhole is a rarity as far as like you can have a skill to throw that bag as young as 7 years old and compete with adults that are fully developed. You know what I'm saying? It's not like other sports. You know, most women NBA teams are not going to beat a male NBA team. You know, a female softball team's not going to beat a Major League Baseball team. That's just the way it is. But in cornhole, it's different. These women and these kids can put the hurt on some of these guys out there and do it on TV and make the same amount of money that the guys would make if they were winning. So I still think they need a kids division. And it would be nice to have a women's division just to crown the top woman, I think. But I'm not hating on this model. It's kind of cool, actually.
Too, being a woman and competing against the men, because I like that. Like, I was one of the top 100 players, not just, oh, you're one of the top women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that I legit made it back as a pro, because that was one of my big goals of the year. I didn't want to just become a pro again because I'm a woman. I wanted to qualify in as like a pro. So making the top 100 singles, I liked that, because then, like, even though you're a female, I mean, you're throwing a 1 pound bag. So it's not like softball where, I mean, we played co-ed and I knew I wasn't going to keep up with the guys playing co-ed softball. But I mean, with cornhole, you can. There's not really like a stamina difference because you're just walking back and forth, and there's not like the strength issue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got that 7-year-old, Trevor Caballero. Got it, Rob. I said it.
Here we go. I don't know why he tries that name every show.
I got it right this time.
It's actually a Spanish name. It's Trevor Caballero.
Caballero.
Can you say yarrow? Can you roll that? Caballero.
Caballero.
There you are. That's even better.
I actually speak Spanish too, and I still can't do it. It's crazy. Well,
you said
Spanish.
That one really well.
Yeah.
You even rolled your R a little bit. You were like Caballero.
Well, I was married to a Puerto Rican for 14 years, and it still didn't help. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, a 7-year-old kid's like lunging and throwing the bag with extreme accuracy, which is, to me, just makes me second guess myself. Like, how, you know, I've been working out my whole life. What am I doing wrong? Why can't I be that consistent with throwing a straight bag when he's lunging with every morsel of strength he has in his arm? Like, my arm outweighs him. Like, come on. It's amazing, man. It's amazing. Yeah.
Also, so I want to talk about bag selection. This year, you've decided to sign with BG. You and Sam both are with BG, and you found a bag that you think is going to be your go-to, right? I think that's the Viking. Am I correct in that?
No. Sam likes Viking. I think she'll do the Viking some in singles. It's a much stickier bag. Kind of both sides are stickier. We've been throwing. I've really liked a good amount of their bags. We started off throwing the Mercenaries, and we were both really liking those. But then we were both throwing more of the sticky side. I've realized, all right, why don't we then move on to try something else that has stickier and a fast side that's not too fast. So then we were throwing the dark slides a little bit and really liking those. They actually are really great outside bags, but I know a lot of our tournaments are going to be inside. And then the Wizards is the other bag that's kind of been my go-to practice bag. Sam loves that carpet side, and then the Wizard side is a quick, fast side. So I like that. So it's good combination of both of us.
And you'll be playing doubles with her as well this year?
Yeah. Okay. So it'll be fun because we'll have our same bag and be very consistent together. I think that'll.
Yeah, it's a lot of throws together as well throughout a national tournament. You're going to be in women's doubles, and then you'll be in doubles. So you're really going to be able to really build a chemistry there with each other. Not that you you already have a chemistry, and you're just going to be able to get more time on the boards together throughout the year. So it looks like it might be a repeat. I don't know. I don't want to call that out loud right now. But if I had rooting interest, I guess I do. I'm probably rooting for Rosie Streker.
Well, you already said she's your favorite cornhole player, so.
Absolutely. She absolutely is. Absolutely. Not favorite women's player, not favorite cornhole player, period.
But isn't your wife a cornhole player?
She's not very good. She's my favorite underdog. She's my favorite underdog player.
Oh, no.
I hope she doesn't watch this.
You would be both. This might be your last show, Rob.
She is never one of our views. I can promise you that.
Oh man,
she doesn't like podcasts. Yeah. She says she doesn't like podcasts.
Some people are like that. I mean, could you listen to us for an hour?
Yeah, that's what I listen to when I'm when I'm playing with headphones in. I'm listening to our podcasts.
Oh,
it's pretty crazy. That's what I listen to.
I'm gonna call.
For some reason, it just puts me in a different zone. I can just start.
Does it?
Concentrating.
It's my deep voice.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You probably go to bed listening to my voice at night too, don't you?
No, I probably don't. What is wrong with you?
Lies.
See?
Lies.
Every time you prove there's something wrong with you. Rosie, I'm sorry you're subject to this guy. It's terrible.
Rosie knows they've missed me the past 2.5 years.
I mean, we miss you. There's no doubt about it.
absolutely.
I'm actually looking forward to playing in Florida in the 17th or something like that. It's the third week in January. Well, I did just register for Asheville, 6th, 7th, and 8th, I believe. Wow, I don't know. I think I may have screwed up because the blind draw is on Friday, so I can do that. But I don't have a partner for Saturday. But the singles is on Sunday, so I got a whole day. I might not have anything to do.
I don't think finding a partner will be hard, man. If you just let somebody know you're looking.
Yeah.
I don't think finding a partner will be very hard.
Yeah, I don't know. You know how cornhole players are, man. Some of them are like, "Who in the hell's Mike Bird?" You know.
You just remember how you were. See, you're starting to project now.
Oh yeah.
Rosie, how many other opens do you plan to go to this season? I'm guessing you're going to go to Florida.
Florida, and
but
then
beyond that.
Florida, and I think Texas, maybe Asheville. We're kind of talking about Asheville, but it's tight because we've got our conference and the Open. They're all like right there in a row.
Yeah, it's all three. It would be 3 consecutive weekends is what that would be if you were to go. So Asheville first, Florida, and then the conference right after that. And being the conference is so far away and so hard to get to for us. Just it's just in a funny place in Alabama where you better drive to get there. So it's crazy.
It's I think 10.5 hours for us.
Woo.
So
yeah, wow.
Dang.
Wow. I think it's 5.5 or 6 for us, but yeah, it's crazy.
And if we have the kids,
but I want to be there.
Yeah, if we bring the kids, it's like 14 then probably.
All the pit stops, restroom breaks. I was gonna say,
let them run around for a little bit.
And you got to bring grandma too. G-Ma's got to come.
Make sure G-Ma's pretty. That's how that works.
Yep. That's so awesome, though. It's so awesome when everybody goes.
Doesn't
matter, Mike.
And the kids love it. So that's fun, too, that they kind of get to see everyone and get to know everyone. That's such a big deal and such a big part of our lives. So.
I ain't going to lie. I'm not jealous at all of that. But, hey, more power to you. Look, I'm the kind of person that at like a 4-hour drive, I won't stop. Not even to use the restroom. Like, I'll power through. I'm like, I need to get this drive done. Let's do it. Focus. Dead stare at the road. It's just me and like Joe Rogan. That's it. That's all we do. I just do.
See, you listen to podcasts too.
Yeah.
Probably start listening to us.
I do.
Don't get us another listen.
I listen to the original as we're doing it, and then I go back and listen to the edit. So I've already got like 2 in. So I'm good with Sticky Side like 3 times now.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait till the link is live. You gotta listen to it on YouTube. You can't be messing around and listening to it before you put the link live. We need that listen, bro.
I'll just create another YouTube account, I guess. Well, I mean, I'm thinking since we got Rosie on the show, that's going to be another Dayton Weber type podcast right there. Like Dayton's podcast on YouTube is already at 2,100 views, which that's insane because that is the largest video of any podcast I've ever put out there. I mean, I've got some
pretty awesome. You've been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah, and I've got some cornhole games like from 2015-16 North Carolina States, like some old ones with Jamie Graham and like Caleb and Frank, and that are like 5,000 views and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, but
nice.
that one definitely with Dayton, man, it's fire, and we haven't even released it on our other platforms yet.
Rosie, have you felt any fame? Is there any fame and fortune that has come to you throughout this game? I know that, and Sugarland, they reached out to you from. How did that relationship happen with you and Sugarland Shine last year? Was that something where they saw you on TV, or how did that happen?
So we actually knew someone who worked at Sugarland Shine. I'm not exactly sure of his role, but we threw a cornhole tournament for him when he worked for a shipyard brewing company.
Oh, okay. Shipyard. Right on.
So we had thrown a tournament and we were Facebook friends. So what's really awesome about Sugarland is that they've kind of gotten involved like a little bit in each different field. So, like they are with the NFL, they're with the New Orleans Saints. They sponsored NASCAR. So they've kind of have different pieces that they've sort of taken. So he reached out and was like, hey, we want to get involved with cornhole. Would you be interested in doing a partnership with us?
Nice.
It's been amazing.
Who is Sugarland?
Sugarland Moonshine.
Okay.
They have amazing, delicious moonshines.
Of course.
And when you hear moonshine, you think like, 100 proof, like you're going to die. And that totally, I would be dying. But they have like delicious, like there's a sipping cream, a banana pudding.
Oh
that's
my
like
God.
It's like good. Like you could, I don't do it, but you could wake up and like just have some like nicely for breakfast and just go on and have a real nice day.
It's okay, Rosie.
I don't do it. Huh?
You can drink it for breakfast.
But you could.
Remember back in the day when moonshine was illegal?
Sugarland Shine for breakfast.
Yeah. Now you can buy moonshine everywhere, man. At ABC stores, there's mason jars of moonshine. And it's some good stuff, too, like Deadly. I had some apple pie moonshine. You could drink it straight out the bottle. I was at a cornhole tournament, and they were passing it around. I'm like, COVID? What? No, give me the jar.
Yeah, that's good enough. But that shine will kill it all.
Oh, yeah, it will. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Rosie's been known to hand out some samples in her.
Oh, yeah?
They nicely will just, it's amazing. The partnership with them, because they'll just send a bunch for each tournament that they'll know where we are and kind of send it ahead of time. And we do like little tasting parties, which is fun.
All right. So Rosie, I'm going to Florida in January. Let's give me some samples.
We'll definitely have some there. And we'll have some apple pie. I think you'll like it.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
I want to try banana pudding. I didn't know you had banana pudding. Are you kidding me?
That sounds delicious.
We had that in our little mini fridge here now too, Rob. So
what? Come on.
You were here too. Next time.
I wanted wine that day. I get it. That's awesome. How did the regional go this last weekend for you?
I didn't go. I was not feeling good at all.
Oh, darn.
Oh, no.
I'm glad you're better.
Yeah. Which honestly is such a bummer because your boy Justin wasn't throwing and wasn't himself because Ricky ended up first. So, I mean, that would have been because normally
that would have been
first, second, that would have been easy first. That one is down.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
So,
like that. My boy Justin, I believe you brought him along. I'm pretty sure you raised him.
I love
You're
those
like his
boys.
other mom.
You're talking about Justin Rule?
She's talking about Justin Rule.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yep, Justin Rule.
They've
Cool
been
guy.
so
He
dominant
was-
at our regionals. Justin taking first the first 2 months, and then them getting first in doubles.
Those two guys at the Spencer McKenzie event, that's where I first met them, and they were throwing 12s and 10s in that wind. And I'm like, how in the world did
Yeah.
these boys it was hard to even hit the board out there.
They are really good outside throwers. I always try to pick them up if one of them can't go to a tournament. And I was like, call me first. I get first dibs. Because it's always windy out here because it's always like, oh, a tournament by the beach. So you know the wind's going to be crazy.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who is the better Rule brother, Anthony or Justin?
Currently or historically?
Give me both. Historically.
Currently it's Justin. Historically, it's Anthony. But Justin's been really working on his game. He's got an amazing flop shot. He's got a great roll bag. His air at the Open, I sat and watched his games, and he just had hit like the perfect air mail where there was barely any space to go in. It was fun and exciting to watch.
He did end up second in his bracket as well, didn't he? He almost double dipped, I thought.
Yeah.
And that wasn't an easy bracket.
No, that was such a hard bracket. I thought I was going to miss my flight because I was like, come on, you got to finish this game in 15 minutes so I can see your next one.
That's awesome. Can we talk about what incredible, exciting stuff you have coming up and how you're going to mention the Sticky Side podcast maybe tomorrow or in the future?
God.
Well, she already said it in a sound bite that I'm going to isolate and put it in our intro.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
if
good,
you don't
good,
mind,
good.
Rosie.
I don't remember that. So on Thursday, in just 2 days, Sam Finley and I are going to be guests on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show.
What? Okay, explain. How did that come around?
Wow.
They reached out to the ACL to have a world champion team accept an award for their clip of the year. So every year of all their clips they do, they kind of pick like, I think it's 7 or 8, and then they choose one and deem it the clip of the year.
So is it a clip of you and
Wow.
Sam playing?
No, it is not a clip of Sam and I, but it's a clip of something somehow related to cornhole. So we'll see or when we get there, and we'll get to.
Have you seen the
No,
Have you seen the clip or not yet?
not yet.
No?
What if it's a Jay Rubin
Okay,
clip?
cool. So you'll be just as surprised. I bet it'll be something like who's the trick shot guy? The Wounded Warrior guy. He always does some cool trick shots with like 7 or 8 boards where he'll slide up over, and I think that's his name. I think it's Wounded Warrior or something Warrior. Oh, Washed Up Warrior.
Watch it for
I think his name is.
He's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
he always does some really cool trick shots.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. We're going to have to look out for that. Is it going to air on Thursday, or is that? Yeah, it's live, so it will be on Thursday.
Live, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It'll be very,
Nice.
very brief, but we're super excited because it's like a main live late night show. So it's kind of like a first big step for cornhole getting in.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it
God,
is.
Rob,
Yeah,
she
it is.
needs like a Sticky Side logo
Sticky
or
Side
something
podcast.
to wear.
She's gonna wear that jersey she's wearing right now. Come on, man, leave her alone.
Oh,
We
yeah.
are wearing our jerseys we won in the championship. So we have to wear the same kind of.
Oh, okay, the ACL
yeah.
Pro jersey. Cool.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Cool.
awesome.
That makes sense.
Congratulations. That's just,
That is so
more
amazing.
more proof, ACL's growing, taking over the cornhole world. Mainstream TV now, Jimmy Kimmel, ridiculous. It's
So
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah. Did you ever think you'd be on national
Couldn't
TV
happen
before
to
like
a
this?
better team.
No, never at all.
Yeah, it's insane. And now you got like people like Shamar Moore and his SWAT cornhole out there in LA. Yeah, it's a nice setup, but I think me and Rob could take that SWAT cornhole team. I'm pretty sure we could.
Oh, for sure we could.
Yeah,
For
hands
sure.
down. but let him enjoy it. It looks nice anyway. But
they just redid that entire backyard. Shamar closed his backyard for about a month and had somebody come in and redo it to make it look exactly like that is with all them boards back there and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he invited us. You remember he got that in?
Yeah, I got
to the last blind draw before the remodel. Yeah, but that was pretty cool. So
you love cornhole when you are A-list celebrity in Hollywood, and you could have anything in your backyard from pools to hot tubs to spas, cryogenic chambers, gyms, and you build, I don't know how many courts it is, but like maybe let's just say like a 4-court like pad for cornhole. You got it bad. You got it bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome though. That's what we want. We want the growth of the game. I mean, in the end, that's what we're looking for is the growth of the game. So Rosie, you've been around this game, probably since 2014. Is that accurate?
We were trying to figure it out. I think like 10 years where we first started like traveling even within the state of Florida. So like 2012.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been around and you've seen the growth, right? You've seen, I mean, Davis pretty much founded everything in South Florida. South Florida Cornhole is Davis and Rosie, and he's built that thing to it is a humming machine right now. That thing, all the different other helpful directors that he's brought in have been very successful for him, and just to see that happen. And Davis has been my partner in the, directing the conference for the past 4 years, and he'll still be my partner in the state tournament as well. He's my partner in Boardman Cornhole. You've seen this growth. What can you tell us about the growth and how you've seen it from that side, watching what Davis does as a director, as a designer, now an employee, kind of a subcontractor for the league, just all that. How have you seen it? What has the stress been? What has the happiness been? What has, the relaxation been? What's it been like to watch?
So I would say, like, from a local standpoint with South Florida Cornhole, it's amazing to kind of watch over time the different people that have joined like our local South Florida Cornhole group, and have grown, because everyone starts off and they think they're really great and no one's ever really great, and then they just get better and better, and then new people come along, and like there's like phases of new people that are like now like the new big South Florida Cornhole group. So it's fun to see like the newer people be like, oh well, like this like group of South Florida Cornhole, and they're like, but like those are the new people, and I'm like, oh, you're the new people. So it's fun to like just see how it like keeps going to like these different groups, and then they're like, oh, they're new, but I'm like, but you're still new. So it's just amazing like how far it just keeps reaching out and growing, and the passion for the sport is amazing. With Davis's side in the design, I know he loves being involved with the American Cornhole. I know with Boardman, he loves being involved with that. I remember the start of like when you guys first started doing your like your boards or your bags, and he'd be like, oh, look, like people are throwing it. There's our stuff. And then the jerseys, and he would like see people wearing the jerseys, and he'd be really proud, like think it was super cool, like someone's wearing his jersey. And then now with the American Cornhole, like he's very excited, like that's the bracket I created, like, and they're using it here on ESPN. He's got a lot of like pride in what he does and making sure that it's like working. He's definitely a perfectionist, and he definitely wants everything and all the working parts to like make sense and work the best, which is pretty cool kind of coming from him, because he is a director, he is a player, and he's a designer. So he's got like all three of those mindsets coming in, which I think makes his perspective so unique and like such a great perspective to bring to this.
Wow. So he designs some of the stuff that's on ESPN as far as the graphics.
All these jerseys behind me, these are Davis Streker designs right here. I mean, he designs every single jersey for the league, I think in every, including USA Cornhole. He does all that. That's what Davis does. He's an amazing designer. He's probably, to me, he's the best designer in the world. To others, they may not know, but to me, he's the best designer in the world.
We might have to have Davis on the show, man. I'd like to talk about some of that stuff. Cool
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But during directors, we got January directors time, and Davis is a top director in the state of Florida without a doubt. So
he's one of the original directors. Like when I started directing in North Carolina, it was Davis Streker in Florida. You know, I mean there was a
he ran the state tournament.
Yeah, he was one of the ones.
So yeah, way back in the day, he was the one that ran the state tournament for the ACO. So they only put that in the people they really trusted. So
yeah, I wonder how many of the old OG directors are still out there. I mean, I know some. There's a couple still with the ACO that were directing way back then, but I know a lot of those ACO directors moved on to the ACL. I don't know. It's like Rosie said. There's new people stacked on top of new people on top of new people. I go to a cornhole tournament, and I don't recognize but a handful of players out there now.
And it wasn't like that for 4 or 5 years. For 4 or 5 years, you could go from about 2014 to 2018. You could go and you would recognize about all 100 of the players that were going.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, after 2018, it just like doubled and then doubled and then doubled. And like here we are now. And like I don't even recognize half of the names in the pro division right now, which to me, that's crazy, you know? And if you watch the draft, there were some times where the main guys who do this analysis, they didn't recognize some of the players that were being drafted. Now, that just speaks to the growth of the game and the way these players are all new all over the place. So what are you looking forward to this year in the pro division for yourself and Sam, for yourself in singles, and then for the two of you in doubles in the main bracket, as well as doubles in women's? So that's kind of like three different positions. How do you feel like you guys will finish?
So I'm excited playing with Sam for women's doubles and pro doubles, because I feel like normally it takes us a little bit into the season to sort of get going. We like to kind of do okay in the nationals, and then we like to win the last national and then win worlds. But I think if we're playing consistently together, we could get some of those earlier nationals in too. So I definitely want to try to win an earlier national. That would be good for women's. And then pro doubles, I think we can compete and be up there. We made it. We played our first like pro doubles at the Open together, and we made it in tier 1. But then we went 0-2. But I had food poisoning, and I was very sick. I had to keep leaving our boards and being sick. So I think that was an unfair judgment for the first one for us. So I think we'll come out strong, much stronger.
What was the culprit? What did you eat?
I think it was tuna. We had tuna at a restaurant on the water.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Not fish.
Yeah. Yuck.
Pretty sure. I won't eat tuna for a while.
Well, I love tuna. I just haven't had it in a long time.
I love tuna too, but yeah. And then definitely in singles, I want to place higher than I did and just kind of continue to be up there. Because there's, awesome girls that are up there each time, and I just want to stay up there in singles as well. So I guess just really placing higher, not throwing bags off the back of the board. That's a big goal of mine. I'm excited too that I have a sticky side this season, so I'll be able to kind of do some more shots. So that's
darn right you do. Sticky side appearance. Let's go. Did you feel like you were drafted in the right place? Were you happy with your draft position in the ACL teams event?
I'm excited for that team. I love that team. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of ladies on there, and I love Brett, so I think it's going to be like a really fun team. And Sam went. And
then you've got a supplemental pick left, right? Don't you have? Oh no, you had all 16 of your picks. I'm sorry, Brett was the last guy to pick. Okay, were you happy with the position you were drafted in? Did you think you should have been higher? Did you?
Oh no,
right where?
I just thought I wanted to be on the left column was all I thought. Okay, I just want to be on the left column. And I made it the last spot on the left column. So
That's awesome. That's like the 7th round, I think. 7th through the 8th round right there.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was, yeah. So that's really good. That's good. Is Sam on that team also?
Yeah, Sam's on it. He's right above me. It's Sam, then Kaylee, then Kaylee Hunter, Megan Moppin, and then myself.
Wow, y'all got some
my
killer
gosh.
ladies on that team.
Well, you got natural doubles teams there too, so there's more opportunity to play together.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they try to mix it up, but being that natural doubles team, I think would be smart. I don't really know. It's going to be fun to watch that shake out, but I think with natural doubles teams, I think you're in a real good position that, you can do some damage there against other people who may not be natural doubles teams. So, boy, that I'm excited for you in that. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited too. It'll be fun to see how it all pans out and how everyone's playing and stuff. Overall, it'll be fun to watch it across the nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that, actually. I'm pretty excited.
Well, Rosie, I hope to see you out on the boards here soon. Hopefully you guys can make it out to Asheville. If not, maybe we can see you in Florida in January.
Florida. Yeah,
that'd be awesome. We've reached a little over an hour in the show. I like to keep the shows to an hour. I know Rob could talk to you all day, all this week about cornhole and all that, but I got to be the bad guy.
We didn't even talk about the farmer's market.
We'll talk about the farmer's market on the next episode.
Apple cider donuts. Come on, bro. We need to talk about this stuff.
Ooh, that would be a good moonshine. Apple cider donuts. Yeah, we definitely got to talk about that more.
You ain't kidding.
But Rosie, hey, thanks again for being on the show, and we appreciate it. And we're gonna get that out there, and we can't wait to see you on Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh my gosh.
Look.
Thanks for having me, you guys. This was a lot of fun.
No, thank you.
Appreciate you being here. It's been an honor. Thank you very much.
All right, Rob. We'll see you on the next episode of Sticky Side. And for all you out there, throw them straight. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Cause we all just wanna be cornhole stars saying keep ourselves and driving beat up cars. The crowd gets crazy and the beers ain't cheap. We get drunk all day so we just don't eat. And we hang out at the local bar, throwing bags in the hole like we have it all.